Hello and welcome to episode 5, Discovery Review, Bad Examples. I think it's called that. I'll have to check again. Oh, no, the examples. A very good episode. I have to say, this is, we're finally getting some teeth into this now. So it's now confirmed that the dark anomaly or the dark matter anomaly is now controlled because it disappears and reappears 1,000 light years away. And there's a nice little tribute in there, the USS Janeway, and then we get mention of the Metrons, not being mentioned since the original series, the Iconian Empire, or the Icosians, the survivors of it, and the Q are mentioned, but they've not been seen in 600 years. So it gets very interesting. So there's a colony planet under, well, it's like this colony, it's a colony thing on these asteroids, and there's a couple of thousand people there, and the anomaly is going to consume it, and they go there to save everybody. It's a bit of a bad society, and there's 6 survivors that will not be allowed to be taken by the society because they're prisoners. Obviously Burnham is not having this, and she goes in there to save them, which you find out there's a bit of a moral thing with one of the prisoners who atones for his crimes, which is sort of interesting, nice little twist. But that just ran through in the background. The more interesting stuff was when this new scientist from Riser turned up with Stamets. He's been working on the spore drive, trying to create another version of it. He's right arrogant, and basically it's like Stamets to some point, but I think he's a bit more arrogant than Stamets. Like, I like Stamets, but he's, it's focused in it. This guy's like the next level up. And they tried to create the control panel of the anomaly. And because the technology is so far beyond them. Now, it would have been interesting if the Metrons, I really would like to get a look at them in this series. I mean, they were just mentioned, and still I don't think the Federation is ready for contact with them because the Metrons were just so beyond us. I remember, in the episode when Kirk had defeated the Gorn, the Metrons had maybe in a few thousand years, so we might be some point there. Interesting about the Q. I think it'd be pretty cool if one of them turned up, in this sort of episode. So the anomalies, we know it's controlled now. I mean, it could be the spear builders from Enterprise. I mean, this is all me sort of going there. Hints. I did say on the podcast with the politics in this with the Federation president and all that, there's going to be some kind of standoff at some point. Now, the scientist guy who came on board, he's quite interesting. He had a mark at back of his neck. They were talking to Booker, and he said to Booker, he said, something is controlling it. It's way beyond us. This thing is like, it's just literally centuries ahead of where we're at. We've just managed to create a working model of it with this control device, but they didn't have enough power to push all the way, but they did find out more. And so they'll cut the experiment. I mean, I was really fascinated. I was really entrenched in this episode. I've got to admit, I'm warming more to Michael Burnham since she's become captain. We're 5 episodes in, and I think the writing for this has been quite enjoyable. Last week's were a bit of a basic episode. Don't want anything spectacular. It was enjoyable. But this week, definitely we went somewhere and we got our teeth into something sort of interesting. All in all, not a bad episode. But what is the dark matter anomaly? Who's controlling it? These are the questions I'm concerned about. This is what I want to know. I think the alien race, they found they're coming back when they've established themselves. They may be connected to this. There's a lot going on. Does the scientists know more? Who's controlling it? Or, I mean, there were 2 reasons. It's either an attack or it's something clearing space out maybe for galactic expansion from somewhere else. I don't know. But of course, they drop little clues in there. I think they definitely the tattoo on the scientist's back of his neck, that's going to come back. But they just gave us enough, didn't they? You know, to be sort of like, yeah, the DMA, the dark matter anomaly. But yeah, I enjoyed it. You know, this stage I've got, well, let's hope it gets better. I'm hoping in the final episode we don't get a WTF moment, but it all comes undone and it goes down the toilet. But so far, I'm impressed. I think they might have learned from the complaints and people want Star Trek again. And, you know, we could be on our way to it. But let's see over time. But all in all, not a bad episode. I did like the mention of the Metrons. I hope we get to see them. You know, it would be nice that they go to the planet Metron in one episode, and the Metrons are like, "What do you want?" You know. So this is this week's review. I only do short reviews. I think it's best. I'll leave that to the more professional YouTubers that go into the big ones. I've just watched this. I like to talk about how I feel about it, and yeah, enjoyed it. So enjoy this episode. Merry Christmas. Stay safe. And I will see you on the next episode.